All right. Well, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for all who are on this call and video. I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Julia. She's done a tremendous job, and she's got a lot of balls up in the air, as all of us do, but she's done it very gracefully, and she's done a great job. So, Julia, there is my plug for the day. You are right now my little hero, so thank you. So you did a good job of kind of setting us up. We pre-COVID, we have 220 partners and serving about 150,000 folks a month. And so our primary responsibility pre-COVID, like Dave will talk about, is really being the wholesaler, if you will, and providing food to all these agencies to provide food to the end user. We maintain our own direct distributions because there's such a gap in our food insecure numbers. For example, there's 215,000 people in Sacramento County who are food insecure. And through our efforts and the efforts of the 220 partner agencies, we're reaching roughly 150,000 people. So that's kind of pre-COVID. We had to pivot very quickly, and it was such a blessing to get so much support so quickly. And some of you had heard that because most food banks or food programs, the majority of their volunteers are seniors, we had a 70% decline in volunteership. At the same time, we needed to ramp up. We didn't triple our capacity, but we had to ramp up very quickly. So we were blessed to have the California National Guard, blessed to have the California Conservation Corps. And these were two groups of folks that could come in every single day consistently, stay for long periods of time, and help us ramp up. So they had logistics expertise, they had driving expertise, they have inventory. And so we were able to begin ramping up very quickly. One thing that we did do, thank God, right when this thing hit, is order a ton of food. And we did not know that, as Julia mentioned, the supply chain, the food supply chain got kinked really quick because folks went to the grocery stores en masse and bought so many things. Unintended consequence for food banks and grocery stores was that let's say Sacramento Food Bank ordered 5 truckloads of food. Generally to our door, it would be there in 5 days. Well, now it's taken 3 to 4 weeks. So that was a huge hiccup that we had to really be mindful of. What does our inventory look like? How fast is our output? And we got a lot of tremendous help from a myriad of folks. Rayleigh's comes to mind right away, a lot of farmers. We had a tremendous amount of food already in the supply chain coming to us, so that was a true blessing. What we found, though, one of our biggest challenges is out of the 220 partner agencies, roughly 60% closed the doors because they had such a difficult time staying open because their volunteers are senior citizens, and we really wanted the senior citizens at that point to stay home. So we analyzed the emergency food system and the folks that were a part of it, and we identified about 35 agencies that really could ramp up capacity. And as we were continuing to feed the agencies that were staying open, we looked at these 30 that could build capacity really quickly, and we focused, kind of like the mayor's office on their weekly convening. We began convening these agencies to try to get them more food, to try to get them more resources, to try to get them masks, to try to get them volunteers, things that they need. So as we're ramping up all of the food to go out on deliveries, that they could handle it. And so that's been very successful. And I can tell you that if I was to say a success story, I would give an incredible shout out and appreciation to the agencies like River City and others that have done just a wonderful job, and who are overwhelmed. You can imagine 220 agencies going down to 80. I mean, they saw a tremendous increase. What we also found is that because we are really good and have a lot of experience in direct distributions, we started analyzing areas of Sacramento County that we might be able to do what we call a mega drive-through walk-up distribution. And we landed on Encina High School, and we landed on Christian Brothers High School. And so, and Julia was able to see yesterday, but we were, so thankful that we had support from the California Highway Patrol, the National Guard, the Sheriff's Office, et cetera, that came, Team Rubicon that came out and helped us because it was such a huge logistical challenge trying to get this many people. And I'm really pleased to note that Tuesday at Encina High, we served over 4,000 people in 2.5 hours, and Christian Brothers followed suit. And we will be doing these mega distributions every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So make sure if you can to get the word out to people that are in need, that these are free food distributions. And we'll be doing them every Tuesday, Thursday. Tuesday at Encina High, Thursday at Christian Brothers. At this point, we're really already focused on post-COVID. I mean, when I say we, the emergency food system is already, the community is so reliant on people that volunteer and utilize food programs. And we know that one of the unintended consequences of this crisis for all of us was how many people were going to be displaced from employment. And so we have so many new people that are visiting food programs. And on the one hand, it's an honor to be able to serve them, because most of this will be fairly short-term. Short-term meaning it could be 6 months to a year. But keep in mind that there's a lot of people, seniors, young children, single moms with children that are going to continue to be in need. So post-COVID for us is like, what does the supply chain look like? What does our financial resources look like? Because we're being just the demand has exploded so much. We're really, really mindful of what the demand and what the output is going to cost, and the fact that we know that, as Julia referenced, this thing's going to go on for a while. So people that were vulnerable, we know we have to serve. People that may be short-term vulnerable are not going to go back to work tomorrow and start everything's hunky-dory. So, I mean, we're already looking into next year to ensure that we're sustainable and that other food programs are sustainable. Let's see here. Success stories. Well, that in itself is that the emergency food system has not broke. The partner agencies of ours have ramped up operations. Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services is going to continue to analyze where there are deserts, if you will, and disruptions in the distribution sites, and try to erect these larger distributions to try to nourish Sacramento as much as possible. Another success story, and I mentioned it before, is just seeing so many people at our distributions and talking to our partner agency leaders that see brand new people they've never seen before. And on the one hand, it's very sad, but on the other hand, it's really gratifying that we can be there for them. And it just touches your heart to be able to do that. What can folks do? I think Julia said it great. I mean, obviously, YOLO Food Bank, all the food banks are going to need additional resources. We know this thing's going to go on for quite some time. People can volunteer. It's not just volunteer for Sacramento Food Bank in our case, it's also all of our partner agencies. You can go to our website, you can take a look at where our emergency response agencies are located. And if you're at home wondering what to do, we know that volunteering is an acceptable activity. Go to a food program in your area, make contact with them, and go volunteer. I mean, it'll be very gratifying, and there's a lot of camaraderie that you can establish there, new people you can meet, et cetera. So I want to again thank just the community for the outpouring of support. And I just want to emphasize that, and again, Julia said it well, we're going to be in this thing for quite some time. And it's just not the emergency food system. We have found out now that food is such a basic element, and food is medicine. And so, from our point of view, a more well-nourished community is a more productive community, whether they're working or not. I mean, we know that in this situation, people that are homebound or people that are just uncertain, a lot of crazy things can happen, a lot of mental health issues, et cetera. So, we just want to be a part of the team that tries to nourish Sacramento during this time, but be a part of the solution moving forward.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's just exponentially going to keep growing, and people's needs going to keep growing until this settles down. We heard from Chelsea Minor a couple weeks ago when we were discussing the food system and food banking, and people, are people being irrational going to stores and bulk buying and doing this thing? And, I asked if there, should we be concerned about a shortage in the supply chain? And her concern more was that, I don't think we're going to run out of food. I think people's ability to access food is going to become a bigger challenge. People are not, they're going to start missing paychecks. People are going to become, who've never experienced food insecurity or kind of were on the border of that, are going to start moving into this new community and population of people that, need to access these services. And I'm curious if people, a lot of people who've never gone to food bank or have never applied for SNAP benefits or CalFresh or programs, where can they go to learn more, whether or not they qualify, or know where to go for Encina High School's drop off, or Christian Brothers, or other locations closer to them if they lack transportation or other ways to get access to your services?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the most important, people that need food. Well, and I'll say, first of all, we want to convey to people out there, and I hope the listeners can convey it to people that are in need. We don't want people to be embarrassed. There is so many people that have never accessed a food program that either have for the short term or will. And we just want to make sure that whether it's us or our partner agencies, we serve with dignity, and we keep in mind that people are scared and they're uncertain. With our website, it's kind of unique in that we have a food finder for people. So if you go on our website, sacramentofoodbank.org, and click on the Emergency Response Agency, you're going to find lots of food programs in your area with very detailed information. And we keep that up to date because things have changed. Some agencies closed and they're getting ready to reopen because they were able to pivot. Many closed and don't have the opportunity to do that. So we want to make sure that people contact the agency that's by their home and go to it. Our mega distributions, if you will, are on our website as well. And there's a unique opportunity for people to just wherever they live to get extra food, because this is, again, a unique situation. I mean, we have moms that were working, that kids went through the school districts, were taken care of through the meal program. Now we're at home. The kids are eating a ton of food. Mom's scared, doesn't know what to do. And so we want to encourage people it's a new situation here. So as many food programs as you can go to during this time to alleviate the uncertainty, we want you to be able to do that. And we want to be able to serve people as much as possible. So Encina High every Tuesday, Christian Brothers every Thursday. We're going to continue to analyze the food system right now, the emergency food system. And if an area of Sacramento County becomes really short with food distribution sites, we're probably going to erect another one.
Perfect. Well, that's great to hear. And if you do visit your website, there is a donation button and donate now button on your Sacramento County Food Bank. So definitely, people, if you have extra and you want to donate and support, please go visit that website. They could use it. Everyone could use it. Thank you, Blake, so much for your time. I appreciate it. I'm going to let you go because I know you had a cut off. But hopefully, like I said earlier to Julia, we can check in a couple weeks and see what's happening and talk more about what you're seeing on the ground. So thank you again.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome.